So because we had some people telling us that they wouldn't recommend us coming here, my expectations were honestly pretty low.
When you're walking down the middle of it, it's really narrow and kind of dark. It feels very medieval too.
And there was a big lightning storm, huge storm, and so he was fearful for his life. And honestly, the weather today has just been rough.
And then we also have joining us today some of Germany's top and premier entertainers.
Okay, I think this is kind of a little bit of an awkward situation for the both of us, for the four of us.
Hey guys, and welcome back to our channel. I am Donnie.
And I'm Aubrey.
And we are two Americans currently living in Germany and sharing all of our experiences living and traveling throughout Europe.
So we get a lot of recommendations from you guys about places to travel throughout Germany, and we love it. Please keep it coming. We literally write all of them down and we try to go to as many as possible. So today we are at one of those cities that was recommended by a few of you, and this city is the capital of Thüringen, and it is also the start of the Reformation Trail. We are in the city of Erfurt. This is where Martin Luther got his start, and so that's what we're going to start with today. We're going to go to the monastery where he became a monk, and then we're going to go to a cathedral that is supposed to be just gorgeous, of course.
And then we also have joining us today some of Germany's top and premier entertainers that we're going to keep a little bit of a surprise until we finally get to go and meet them. We're super excited about that. And then tomorrow there is another small town that a lot of you have recommended. Some of you have also said, why would you go there? But we're gonna go check it out because it's supposed to have one of the best preserved medieval town squares in all of Europe in Bad Langensalza. So we have a lot of exciting things to go check out. So come along with us and let's go see what we can find. So on our way to the monastery, we came across one of Erfurt's top tourist sites. It's this beautiful medieval bridge over this little river here with all of these half timber frame buildings all along it. It's called the Kramer Brücke, and no, not that Kramer, but whenever you're looking at it, it is just beautiful with all the different colors, the medieval architecture. When you're walking down the middle of it, it's really narrow and kind of dark. It feels very medieval too, but it's a beautiful site that all of the walking tour groups are kind of starting around here. We're seeing quite a few of them meeting at this very scenic spot and then moving on. So it is a really beautiful place to stop and check out on your way to the monastery, but we're going to continue on to our main goal today.
So we are at the Augustiner Cloister. I have to preface, I'm super excited and giddy about this because I'm kind of a church history nerd and find it all really fascinating. But the really interesting part about this particular monastery is that this is where Martin Luther studied and became a monk. So the history of it is that here in Erfurt, Martin Luther was at university and there was a big lightning storm, huge storm, and so he was fearful for his life and he asked Saint Anne to protect him, and if she protected him, he would become a monk. So this is where he came and fulfilled that vow and became a monk, and he studied here, and this is also where he really took time to study scripture and really devoted his life to that. So this is where a lot of his theology was started and then eventually led to the Protestant Reformation.
So to get into the monastery grounds, you don't actually have to pay anything. You can walk around in here yourself and through the grounds, and then also into the church. But once you want to go into the main parts of the museum and also where Martin Luther's room was, you actually have to pay. So we got 2 audio guides that were $7.50 each, and then there's a little chip on it that you use to unlock doors to get in through the different parts of the grounds that you have to pay to get into. The actual grounds itself are pretty simple. The church is beautiful, but very simple. And the museums are also kept fairly straightforward and not super over the top ornate. And that matches the monks' lifestyle here. They were all about simplicity and just really simplifying their lives. So you start your tour inside of the church, and then you move into a beautiful inner garden that was the monks' graveyard. And then you move into a museum where they have lots of history on the Bible and it's translating over history. And then you get to move into like the main part that we came to see, which is Martin Luther's actual room whenever he was a monk here. Now the room isn't actually his room when he was here because there were multiple fires and other things that destroyed the original room, but they rebuilt it in the 19th century to look exactly like it was in the exact same space that it was. A really cool aspect of this place is that you can actually stay overnight here. There's a really great little restaurant inside, and then the rooms are inside of the monastery. I personally kind of was opposed to staying here just because this is no longer a monastery. So for me, this might be a delusional thought, but I thought it'd be cool to stay in a place where there are actually monks working here still, and you get to see the monks, but that's not really the case. It's now just like kind of a hotel. But it still seems like a really nice place to stay if you want to do that. Great, cheap accommodations and simple accommodations. They also still have an event center and they'll still have services. Actually, right as we're speaking right now, there's a service going on right now inside of the church, so it still is active that way.
If we're ever in Erfurt again, I actually would love to stay here. I think that'd be a really cool historical experience. I would like to. But now that we have checked off the first thing on our Reformation Trail list, we are going to go hang out with our exciting guests.
So we told you guys this morning that we were going to meet up with some of Germany's hottest and most entertaining YouTubers. Well, I mean, hottest is like up and coming, but like
they're super hot too.
Should I restart that?
No, that's cool.
Anyways, we are going to finally introduce you to who we've hung out with today, and it is Deanna.
What's up, everybody?
So yeah, we are here with Deanna and Phil. I'm sure most of you guys have already checked out their channel, but if you haven't,
they also have a channel that is comparing Germany and the US. Yes,
exactly.
Go check it out.
And also do a whole lot of travel content, but they do a lot of really cool stuff, and you guys haven't seen it, you definitely have to go check out their channel. Phil is actually German, and Deanna is American, which is really cool because our channel is a lot of just our American observations from what we see in Germany. But we actually have a real German here who can actually confirm and tell us everything that we're saying that's wrong here. Yeah.
Where's your lederhosen?
Yeah, I'm not wearing lederhosen today.
But we hung out and we grabbed lunch just a little bit ago, and now we've come to check out some of the cathedrals here and just get their take on it too, I guess.
Yeah, as I just mentioned earlier, we're in this town of Erfurt, and it's surprising, like I'm from Western Germany and we're in Eastern Germany right now, and I still think even now, like how much, 30 years after the reunion of Germany, there's still these stereotypes that Western Germans look a little bit down on Eastern Germans and vice versa. But coming here to these cities, I have to say it's a pretty nice city, and I'm positively not surprised. It's kind of what I expected, but I think all these stereotypes are kind of dull in 2020. Okay, I think this is kind of a little bit of an awkward situation for the both of us, for the four of us, because we're really not used to talk for other videos and stuff like that.
Filming with other people.
But it's a lot of fun. We're laughing a lot. This was a very nice talk we had so far, very long. Very nice church we looked at here. Maybe we do a proper collaboration in the future.
But yeah, so the Erfurt cathedrals up here are some of the most beautiful cathedrals that we have seen, and it's up on this massive hill. So we're going to throw in some of those clips now and show you what these cathedrals look like, and also give you a little bit of information about it.
These two cathedrals are up on top of a big hill that overlooks the whole city. There has been some type of church grounds or basilica up on top of this hill since the 700s. But this particular cathedral was built in the 1300s, and this is actually the church where Martin Luther was ordained. So as you walk into this cathedral, you'll notice that it's not as ornately decorated as some other cathedrals that we've seen, except for the altar. The altar is very ornate with lots of gold and lots of different depictions. But we were really lucky walking into this one. There was actually some kind of a concert going on, or a practice for a concert. So we got this beautiful music, violins, and singing in this big, beautiful cathedral. It was a really unique experience. I can't guarantee that will happen every time, but we were really lucky this time. This cathedral was also shaped, we thought, a little differently than others that we've seen. Normally they are pretty long and skinny and shaped like a cross from above. This particular cathedral, though, seems to be shaped more like a big square, with the altar being in a longer, skinny, rectangular portion.
So we knew very little, if anything, about Erfurt before we came today, and whenever I was looking it up last night to try to get some facts just to kind of orientate ourselves here, I learned that Erfurt actually has one of the oldest universities in all of Germany that was established in the 1300s, and that's where Martin Luther studied in the 1500s. And then Erfurt actually also is, I kind of feel like, a fairly small-ish capital city. It's only about 210,000 residents that I saw online. But it seems like a really nice city so far. Lots of really beautiful half-timber frame buildings and cobblestone streets, but also a lot of other really unique architecture that maybe we feel like we haven't really seen in a lot of other places. Another thing that I learned last night that I probably should have known, Erfurt does land what I would consider kind of like the center, almost the dead center of Germany, but slightly east. But it was part of East Germany whenever the country was divided into West and East Germany.
It was awesome to meet you guys. We have a 2-hour ride back home. It's freaking cold, so I guess we'll see you soon.
Corona goodbye.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Corona goodbye. See you.
Oh,
We just said goodbye to Deanna and Phil, and you guys, they are amazing. We really enjoyed meeting them and getting to know them today, and you have to go check out their channel. They're doing great things, doing a lot of fun things here in Germany. So go check them out. We'll leave a link in the description for their channel. And honestly, the weather today has just been rough. It's been really rainy and cold. It's like 6 degrees Celsius right now. It's freezing. So we didn't get a lot of footage filmed today. Mostly spent a lot of time just inside talking to Deanna and Phil all day long. It flew by. So hopefully the weather will be better tomorrow whenever we go to Bad Langensalza. We're gonna go check that out tomorrow, and hopefully we will have better weather, better filming weather, and we'll get to explore that city a little bit more tomorrow.
Hey there guys, so this morning we got up and we drove from Erfurt to Bad Langensalza. It was about 45-ish minutes to get over here. And again, this was a place that we've had a couple of people recommend to us on our channel, but at the same time we've had quite a few people who said, why the heck would you go there? But from what we've seen online, it's supposed to be one of the best preserved medieval villages in Germany because it wasn't destroyed in any of the world wars or anything, and there was, I guess, one bomb that was dropped here accidentally on a few buildings. So it should be a really well maintained and quaint, cute, old charm medieval village in town, and already just walking in is very beautiful. So it should just be a quick little stop on our way home, but just a place that we feel like we have to check out since we're right here in the area already. Might as well, why not?
So because we had some people telling us that they wouldn't recommend us coming here, my expectations were honestly pretty low, but I think it's really nice. It has all the half timber frame buildings, really cute little square, has the cobblestones, has some nice parks. So I think it seems like a really nice little German city. It has about 17,000 people, so it's on the smaller side. And then today is Sunday, so there's not a lot going on. There's just a few people out and about at cafes, but that's pretty typical for a smaller German village that we have seen. I think it's a cute little place to come. I don't know if I would make like a whole trip to come see this city, but I definitely check it out on your way to something else. Why not?
So this town definitely is set up for tourists. There's a lot of ways that point to different tourist sites that you can go to. A lot of beautiful gardens, a lot of thermal baths. There's also some sulfur springs that were discovered here in the 1800s that you can check out. It's really pretty. We're in a garden area that surrounds the city that you can walk through. But I think for us, the thing that we still are most interested in are these half timber frame medieval villages that you all want to get whenever you come to Germany for the postcard kind of fairy tale feel. And here you definitely have a lot of those. A lot of buildings that have plaques on them that talk about how they were first built in the 1500s and so on, and then renovated later on. But it's amazing just to walk around and see these buildings that have been here for, 500 years and are still standing and utilized today. Right behind me is the Bombenfleck, which everything we've seen online looks like this was the only place that a bomb was dropped on Bad Langensalza. And also online, I think what I read is that it was an accident dropped by the British pilots. They were supposed to be attacking somewhere else, I guess, but one dropped here and 8 people were killed. So a sad part of the history, and you can see that now it is just a parking lot and there's an obvious break in the buildings here where it happened. And so with that, I think we've kind of seen everything to see in Bad Langensalza for us today. So that is going to be pretty much it. We definitely did not give Erfurt justice whenever we did our video yesterday. The weather just ended up not being our favorite at all, but there's so much other cool things that you can do and eat, like the Thüringer bratwurst, and then also they have the oldest synagogue in Europe, and there's a lot of other really cool things that you definitely should check out, but unfortunately we didn't get to see because we were spending so much time with Dana and Phil and having a blast with them and trying to get out of the horrible weather.
And then today in Bad Langensalza, this has been a nice little stop. We would definitely recommend, if it's on your way, might as well just pop in, get a coffee, walk around the cute little medieval city. And thank you so much for the recommendations of places to go throughout Germany. We really truly love that, and we write them all down and we are trying to hit up as many as possible. We really love getting these recommendations.
So thanks so much for watching this video, guys. If you enjoyed it, definitely hit that like and subscribe button, and we would love to continue showing you more of our adventures while we are living here. We will see you in our next video.
Cheers! Of the Reformation, and it's also the start of the Reformation.
I heard people coming and I got nervous.
Oh no, you did going kind of fast.
The gates.
Should we say something?
I don't know if I should say, like, what is it? Do you want?
Should we say how cool you are?
Yeah.
I don't know.
These guys are pretty cool, but you already know that.
Should we just say something? Oh,
Oh jeez.
are we saying something?
I don't know. You could say something. I don't know how to speak.
I don't know what to say.
Hey there, guys. Whoa. Hey there, guys.